Junhua, who was playing a video game. Suddenly, something happens that he never expected. His friends told him to run. Get out now. He took off his headphones and went to the living room. Just then, an emergency alert came on his phone. Immediately after, he heard screaming and shouting from outside. Junhua, shocked, moved forward, and as soon as he peeked outside, he was stunned. The whole area was in chaos. People were running here and there to save their lives. Some were jumping from buildings. Someone was screaming. A fire truck lost control and crashed on the road. And then he saw that. One person was biting another person like an animal. Junhua couldn't understand what was happening. Just then, a mother went to save her child near him. But the very next moment, that same daughter suddenly attacked her and started biting her. Junhua was shaken to his core. Seeing such a scene, he was left in shock. Just then, someone started banging loudly on the door of his flat. Now he gathered courage and went to the gate. However, he didn't see anyone there, so he opened the door. Just then, a man barged in loudly. Actually, he was Junu's neighbor. Junu immediately told him to leave, but the neighbor asked if he could use the toilet. Junu hesitantly agreed. Just then, his eyes fell on the TV, which was showing that a dangerous virus was spreading throughout the city, and those infected were turning into zombies. Hearing this, Junu quickly grabbed a sharp knife, and as soon as he turned around, his neighbor was standing there. He told him to leave, although the neighbor tried to explain and said he was perfectly fine. But suddenly, his eyes turned red, and he started turning into a zombie. Junu used all his strength and managed to push the zombie out the door. Out of fear, he immediately blocked the door with the fridge. After that, he panicked and called his family, but no one answered. He started worrying about his parents. A little while later, he received a message that was from them. They said that we are completely safe. Do not leave the house and wait for the rescue. Reading this gave her some relief, but the fear still lingered. Juno didn't know how long she would have to hold out. She arranged the little food and drink she had with her. The next morning, she decided to use a drone to find out the situation outside. She discovered that the entire neighborhood was completely filled with zombies. Every floor, every house had zombies. At night, Juno heard gunshots and went to the balcony to see. It turned out that a female police officer was fearlessly fighting the horde of zombies alone. However, she couldn't hold out for long against their army and became their prey. Suddenly, he heard a loud bang on the door behind him. Trembling with fear, Juno slowly moved forward, holding a bat. A zombie had managed to break into his house. He quickly ran and used all his strength to push the fridge. But the zombie was so powerful, he could come in at any moment. Meanwhile, an idea struck Juno. He ran straight to the balcony and climbed onto the railing. Just as the zombie lunged at him, he immediately jumped. The zombie jumped after him too. However, Jumu cleverly hung onto the railing and narrowly escaped. Although the food in the fridge had also been spoiled, to hide himself, he completely sealed the windows. But there was one more thing he was about to find out, and hearing it would leave him shocked. Now, June had to face not only the zombies, but also a shortage of food. After 15 days of struggle, June's mind began to lose balance. He saw his parents happily returning home. But when he realized it was all a figment of his imagination, his breath stopped. He fell to the ground, crying in pain. Fortunately, a voice message arrived, which gave him a glimmer of hope to live. This message was sent by his parents. However, the signal inside the house was very weak. In June, he had to take a risk that could have cost him his life. After much effort, he finally got a signal on his phone, but the voice message contained the painful screams of his parents. In fact, Zobia had attacked them. Hearing this, June was shattered. June's heart was now as cold as death. He felt that his life no longer had any meaning. June decided to end his life. However, as soon as he kicked the chair, a red light suddenly shone on his face. June was shocked because he couldn't believe that anyone was still alive. Somehow, he managed to free himself, after which he saw a beautiful girl in the apartment across from him, signaling to him. For June, this was nothing short of a miracle. During this time, the girl told him that they would continue their conversation at 7 the next morning. When June opened his eyes, he found that it was already 11 o'clock. Thankfully, Yuvin was watching him continuously. She noticed that June was feeling sick from hunger. She tied a rope to it. He used the ball and threw it hard, but he misjudged the distance a bit. Fortunately, June had a drone. Without wasting any time, he connected both apartments with a ropeway using the drone. Their idea worked, and Ruben tied a food packet to the rope and sent it over. However, they were unaware that this happiness was only a guest for a few moments. In fact, a firefighter who had turned into a zombie grabbed the rope thrown by Yuban and started climbing up his building quickly. That zombie was not an ordinary one. It still had the ability to think like humans. On the other hand, by the time Yuban realized this, it was too late. The zombie pulled the rope, causing Yuban to stumble and fall, and she fainted right there. The zombie started climbing the wall and quickly headed towards her room. After this, June tried to distract the zombie to stop it, but the zombie was so stubborn that it kept moving forward. Now, once again, the drone came into play. Agent Wu started harassing the zombies continuously with the help of a drone. Unfortunately, the zombies destroyed the drone. Just as he was about to climb onto the balcony, Yuban suddenly regained consciousness. In one swift move, he killed the zombie and knocked it down. Seeing Yuban safe from danger, Junwoo felt relieved. However, the food that Yuban had given him was almost finished. Exhausted, Junwoo decided to take the risk and go outside to find food. Otherwise, they would die of hunger. He prepared himself and cautiously opened the door. Luckily, there were no zombies outside. Now the search. During the investigation, Junwoo found some keys near his neighbor's dead body. He quickly opened the door to their room where he saw a body on the bed. He threw a shoe at it, but there was no movement. After ensuring it was safe, he began searching the house without wasting any time. Upon opening the refrigerator, a foul smell hit his nose, but thankfully, there was still some canned food and drinks. We're safe and sound. Juno also found out that his neighbor was an avid climbing expert, so there could be some electronic devices around, after which he found 2 walkie-talkies, which could be very useful to him. But then a zombie suddenly attacked him from behind. June pushed the zombie away and ran out of the house in desperation. That night, Juno had a full and peaceful meal after many days. Then he packed some food and a walkie-talkie in a box and sent it to Yuban. They finally managed to talk to each other. They heard another human voice after many days, so they talked for a long time, but happiness is always short-lived. Those who were calm suddenly went crazy and started running towards the building. Both of them soon lay on the ground. Now even a slight sound could mean their death, but that's when Yuban made a noise by mistake. Now the growing number of zombies started to hear it. That's when Juno asked the girl for her room number and immediately cleverly called her neighbor's room. Distracted, drawing the zombies' attention everywhere, and they went there. However, staying here was like embracing death. They didn't want to wait to die at the hands of the zombies. So, they decided to go up to the 8th floor where there were no zombies. After both of them were ready, Yuvan, who had rock climbing experience, used a rope to quickly jump down, but as soon as she descended, zombies attacked her from all sides. With her agility and fast climbing skills, she dodged one zombie after another and kept running. However, due to the large number of zombies, she got caught. And just as she tried to pick up a gun, a zombie suddenly jumped on her, but Juno arrived in time and saved her life, and both of them managed to escape the crowd of zombies and got inside the building. They closed the main gate of the apartment to keep the zombies out and then jumped into the elevator and started heading straight to the 8th floor. They thought they were safe now, but just as when he turned around, he was stunned because a large group of zombies was suddenly coming towards him. Jun fought fiercely against the zombies, while Yuban was pulled into a room by someone. Within seconds, a smoke grenade was thrown, and a masked man came to the rescue. However, Yuban still didn't trust anyone completely. After this, the man offered them food and water. But despite being hungry, they didn't dare to eat. Seeing this, the man took the first bite. Then, trusting him, they also started eating. Then he told them that my place has plenty of food, and you can stay here until the rescue team arrives. Hearing about the rescue team, a sparkle returned to their eyes. After a long time, they finally saw a glimmer of hope to survive. But who knew what was going to happen next? By the time Yuban realized something was wrong, it was too late. Jun suddenly collapsed, and it was revealed that this room wasn't even the man's, and he tampered with their food, which also caused Yuvan to faint. Now the man started tying them up and then dragged Yuvan into a room where there was also a zombie. The other end of the rope was with the man. Now here, The man's true face is revealed that the zombie was none other than his own wife, and he still loved her very much and did not want to lose her. Because of this, whenever she was hungry, he would serve living humans to her, and the family living here had also fallen victim to this. The man slowly started loosening the rope, which made the zombie even lunge. The whole room filled with screams. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jungwoo regained consciousness and immediately threatened with a gun, saying, "Open the door." However, the man fearlessly threw the rope. Jungwoo jumped and grabbed the rope with all his might, but despite all his strength, he couldn't stop it. After a scream echoed, suddenly there was a silence. The man thought the job must be done by now and opened the gate, but his zombie wife attacked him. Actually, Yubin saved himself with a pillow. Now, without thinking, Yubin immediately fired a shot, making the couple one forever. However, hearing the gunshot, all the zombies around started rushing towards them. All around. Such a monstrous crowd began breaking down the door. Now they had two choices, either take it or finish each other off. Ki and June looked at each other, gave a slight smile, picked up their weapons, and just as they were about to pull the trigger, a loud noise came from a helicopter. They quickly rushed to the window and a spark of hope lit up in their eyes. A rescue helicopter had indeed arrived. They didn't want to let this last chance slip away, so they quickly ran and dodged the zombies to reach the roof. Jungwoo threw a bicycle lying on the way among the zombies and closed the gate as soon as they reached the top. But then they saw that the zombies had broken the gate too. They accepted that their fate was sealed, but then, fortunately, the helicopter spotted them and started firing all around. Eventually, both were rescued. After the rescue, the radio towers were turned back on, allowing the remaining people to start sending